this challenge run, being the Shepherd Challenge, where we're raising money for Mind UK, I've been reaching out to people and encouraging people that wish to talk about their mental health experiences or any stories they have that resolve around mental health to join me on stream. Join me for the banter like Kayla has, and we talk about it. Simple as. Just have a nice open discussion on mental health, because we always want to encourage the idea of being open about your mental health bits and all that jazz. So, with that in mind, this evening I'm joined by KaylaKrafter, as I've said early on in the stream, a good friend of mine, fellow streamer, lover of Formula 1, and as you can tell from the banter in the games, fellow lover of Sentai and all that fun jazz. Probably more of a lover of Sentai than me, because I still feel as if I'm not nearly as into it as Kayla is, because I'm more of a calm riding guy, but hey ho, we'll have our intos. And tonight, we're talking about mental health bits. Now, Kayla, you wanted me to write down some questions for you to make this more, to just make this better, which I have done. I have my list here, and I'm just checking it twice. No, I'm not Santa, so don't finish the song.
Going on GDPR. Frequently.
Oh no, I hope not. Oh no! Right.
It's right, he really did enjoy talking about Kamen Rider, didn't he?
I really did, in fairness. I really did.
Going off on that one.
That is the only problem. Give me an opening and I take it. Absolutely. Okay, so let's start things off with something nice and straightforward. How would you define your mental health? Or what have you been, if you have been diagnosed with anything around mental health, what would it be? So we're talking about anxiety, depression, bits and bobs like that. How would you title it if you were to title it?
I haven't spoken to anyone really about it. Close friend, you in particular, I think I've spoken to a couple of times about things. But just in general, I don't open up and I don't talk about anything. I don't do it. No, never have, and I don't know if I ever will, because I tend to just deal with it and just be like, mainly ignore most of it. Not the best way to be. You know?
I get you.
But yeah.
Because I remember, I think it was after we had the mental health chat with Rave, I believe. It might have been with Tash, but I think it was originally when we had the chat with Rave, when you originally reached out with an interest to come on to talk about bits, which was awesome. It was very awesome to know that you were inspired to do that, and it felt like you were welcomed enough to do that, not imposed to do it in any way, which was really, really nice. And so, with that in mind, with your mental health experiences or experiences with having the highs and lows of mental health state and all that jazz, what are like some of the experiences you've had that's really affected your mental health?
So basically, it's like I was saying to you earlier about the whole cosplay thing. Now, I had some images up on my stream of all my cosplays, and I said to the guys in my chat and everything about it, about the fact that, so, obviously no one really knows me personally, so all of your guys in your chat, they don't really know me, even most of the people in mine don't know me, but I found that, so I won't get too deep into it, but in terms of the cosplay side of things, I used to cosplay a lot. Probably seen all the pictures on my Facebook and stuff like that of all the cosplays I've done. And yeah, I basically did all of these cosplays and things. But I've always felt that, especially in the cosplay community, and also just in life in general, I get ignored a lot, and that's kind of why I don't talk about stuff, because I just think, what's the point? If no one's listening, what's the point in me speaking up? So with the cosplay side of things, I tend to have kind of retired from it, for want of a better word, because I found, and this is a thing that I've noticed with the streaming, although with the streaming I've had plenty of moments where I've kind of not reached out to people or anything like that, but I've kind of sat in the background just streaming away, no one watching, no one in chat, no responses, and trying to make things up as I go along. But I do find it's much easier when I've got someone to bounce off of. So that's why I like to have people in the chat talking away so that I can respond to that. But yeah, it's just the cosplay side of things, I kind of retired from it because of the fact that through streaming I've now found a bigger community and more people interacting with me. So for example, the racing league that I've done with some of the people in my chat, I had Scar, I had JDFC, Boy Meets Mini, those are just a few. But we've set up this racing league, we've got a Discord for it, and everyone's interacting. And the one thing, so Scar said it in the Discord to me, because I still feel like I can make all this effort, I can do all this stuff and get people involved, but I tend to take a back seat, and I would rather see other people happy, see other people doing stuff, than get involved myself, so I'm kind of always behind the scenes. And yeah, Scar just said, you should be proud of what you've done here, because if it wasn't for you, we would not all be together enjoying this racing. So it's all because of what you've done, and you should be pleased with the effort you put in and stuff. But taking the compliment is not something that I can do just because, like I say, I feel ignored most of the time with anything that I do. So I just don't bother. And I just can't take the compliments. But it was also to do with, like I said, with this, the only reason I said about doing this was because I think it was Tash that did it at the time, when they said about the whole, if it can help someone else. And that was the main reason.
And that's awesome, because that's what I personally would want to inspire from these talks anyway, that I want to have in these streams, because it's all about opening up, talking about our experiences, because it's the whole idea of you could have some pretty severe experiences. We've had some people on that have had some pretty severe ones. Howdy on, by the way, welcome in, buddy. And we've gone to some really dark places, and we've talked about some really dark moments in these sections. We've also talked about some moments that have triggered people in certain ways that other people can go, oh, that's not really as severe, but that doesn't mean it's not as valid. And that's what I want to get across with these talks, where mental health is triggered and affected by different people in completely different ways. And what affects me, other people can look at and go, oh, people have it worse, right? But that shouldn't say that any troubles I go through are valid. It should be everyone's stories are just as valid as the person next to them. They're just different stories. And we should be willing to open up about it, talk about it, and say, this has happened. I feel like this. There are moments where this will occur. And it's not right, but the fact we can acknowledge it is a great step. Acknowledgement is a fantastic step forward when it comes to developing and moving forward with mental health and your own personal story. And so you bring up obviously we were talking about the cosplay bits earlier. We said we were going to go a little bit more deeper into things. When it came to your cosplay bits, and I know how passionate you were about cosplay, and as soon as I saw your message on Facebook, like your status through Facebook, when you said you were going to take a step back from it all, I was devastated for you, simply because I remember we had become friends through what was the and the MCM group on Facebook, rest in peace. Thank God, I think it turned into a bit of a cesspool. I think we survived it, but that's where it all started. Ever since then, I think it was when I originally saw your cosplay at one of the same times, and I was like, I want to befriend this person. I like this. And we just kicked off from there, really. Back and forth, as you do here we are now. So, we were talking about some of our cosplay experiences earlier. I know I brought up the story that I had when I was part of when I was doing my Pokemon bits and what had happened. What is a story that you have that you're willing to share that has happened to you involving cosplay? I know one we spoke about was with Doctor Who and cosplaying the one Doctor Who character that may have caused some backlash and spark ups, etc. Are there any other experiences that you've had where you've gone into cosplay, something you've really enjoyed and really loved doing and being a part of, and it's just not been accepted or welcomed, so to say?
Well, so like I say, with the cosplay side of things, and it's probably, I know this is a very bad way of putting this, but it's probably my own fault for being so quiet and so reserved. Like I say, I don't make much effort to sort of be out there. Streaming is the one thing that I've got that I've started to become more confident in chatting away and talking while I'm doing stuff. And being on camera doing anything, I'll spend a fortune on this stuff. But yeah, in terms of, I feel like I'm getting more attention and more interaction through streaming than I ever did with cosplay. Because all these, like, I've got them up on my stream right now, and my guys can see them, all the pictures of my cosplays. Most of these pictures have come from me asking for photographers to take photos. I hardly ever get stopped for photos when I'm at con. And yes, I get it that people will see certain characters they're not really interested, but you look at it and you go, well, I can walk around a convention as Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, who is, she's overdone. So many people would do that cosplay, but I can walk around for an entire day as Harley Quinn and not one person asked me for a photo. And yet you go, the thing is, I see all these pictures on Facebook and Instagram and everything afterwards, and I can see 20 or 30 other people who went to the same convention on the same day cosplaying the same character. Some of them, I will admit, this is not meant in a mean way, but some of them are not as good as me. Some of them are wearing rubbish outfits. The same with Power Rangers. Some of them are wearing really horrible outfits. Yeah, they're making an effort, and I respect that. But I'm there in, for example, my pink Power Ranger suit. I don't know if I've ever told you this, or anyone really. That cost me around about £1,000 for everything.
Because it was like a legit crafted suit.
Yeah, they're all custom made. But the guy that I got that suit from, he's well known in the community as probably the most accurate suit maker, because he had access to the original suits that they used.
Oh, damn, that's amazing.
He knew what material they were made from and everything, and yeah, he made those suits. And like I say, I can walk around in that. Sometimes I get stopped for photos in the Power Ranger suit because the little kids see it, but I never see anything afterwards. And for an example, someone once said about, you need to cosplay for you. That's all well and good. I do cosplay for me, but it's just getting that recognition even once after a convention, seeing one photo that someone's uploaded saying, look at this awesome cosplay I saw. I never got that. And this is where we get into the mental health side of things, because then I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I get those moments where in the back of your head, and I'm sure everyone has had it at some point with whatever they've done, streaming, cosplaying, even going for job interviews, you get that thought in the back of your head that just says, maybe it's you, maybe it's not the costume you're wearing, maybe it's the person under the costume. So I'm then thinking, so is it me? Is it because it's me that they don't want to take photos of? And that doesn't help.
I completely understand that entirely, because I've had episodes of that recently with
streaming.
It's been with streaming and content creation. Absolutely, that's my most recent hit, and people in my community will know that hit me quite hard. But it was also it was that, but it was also what happened when I went for a job interview. And bearing in mind, I've been hunting for jobs for the best part of 8 years. First interview I get, I think it's like the second interview I've gotten in 8 years, and they said, yeah, we're interested in having an interview with you. Gave me a date, never gave me a time, because the date they gave me was when I was at work and I couldn't get time off work for it, and they never got back to me. So I had to withdraw because I couldn't commit, and I still haven't heard from them since, and it just crashed me. So I completely understand, and even then in the cosplay stakes, I understand as well, because especially when, and I completely understand what you meant with the Harley Quinn cosplayers, that of course we don't mean any offense, every cosplay is your cosplay, and your cosplay is great for you, so bear that in mind. In the grand scheme of all the cosplayers out there, when you know the effort you put into yours in comparison to the effort someone's put into theirs, they've gotten that recognition over you, it hurts. I've been there as well. I've been there even with my very first cosplay, which was my closet Jotaro. I was cosplaying Jotaro at the time where JoJo wasn't even going to be animated at that point. I just knew JoJo from the original OVAs. No one had a clue. As soon as JoJo became mainstream, everywhere, everyone gets recognition. I got nothing. Even the same as when and I agree, everyone says cosplay for you. And then I cosplayed as the one character I genuinely loved cosplaying, other than when I did my version of Lord Zed from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I did a cosplay of the lead character of my favourite game of all time, which we've played on stream, which was Utah from Silent Bomber. I actually made the outfit, or had help making the outfit. I made the arm gauntlets, I had a wig, everything to become Utah. The worst part of me being Utah, and the thing was, I was cosplaying Utah, fully acknowledging that no one would know who the hell I was, but I was okay with that, because I was cosplaying for me, being the character I just wanted to do. It hit me though when people started thinking I was Quicksilver, because of course at that point the X-Men films had came out with Quicksilver, and I'm like, shit, maybe I picked the wrong con for this. So all that happiness turned into sorrow when it's like, oh, you're this character. No, I'm not. Oh, then I don't care. So I've been there. It's
and just another thing as well. I won't mention any names or anything.
Of course. Yeah.
But so obviously, you know, I went to America. It's just like a first for me. One of the guys I met, and I got an autograph from him, and he even said to me, he even wrote on the autograph, there's a first time for everything. Because I made a big deal of it, as like, yeah, I've never been abroad before, I've never been on a plane, and I've come to California from the UK. This is big. But I felt for a while in the community over here, in the Power Rangers community, like you were saying, it's very elitist, it's very gatekeepery. That's probably not even a real word, but it is now because I made it up.
There you go.
But yeah, there are a lot of people who think, like I say, it does come across that I think that as like, okay, I spent £1,000 on this suit, and someone in a morph suit is getting more recognition than me. That's a little bit wrong, but
I get you.
But yeah, so I didn't feel very welcome in the community over here. I always felt a bit left out. No one thought of me for a start. The only time they did was when it was little kids going, look, it's a Power Ranger, which makes you feel a bit better. But I had known people in this community for years. We're talking 4 or 5 years. I've known these people, and I always felt very unwelcome, not really like I was just on the edge of the group. So like, oh yeah, I'm just there, and all the people want photos of all these people, and I'm just sort of standing back. Maybe again, that's just me. That's how I am, just staying back out of the spotlight. But I went to America and I met a group over there, and they basically, just a short story, they had a full group of the Q Rangers, you know, the Space Sentai, that had like 12 characters.
Yeah,
they never adapted it.
Big group, yeah.
Yeah, so you had one that was a giant, you had the one that was a fur fox, and everything like that. These guys were doing a full group, but they had an issue with one of their suits, and it didn't fit one of the guys. And basically, I met them on the Friday. Yeah, the Friday I met them. Friday evening at the con, and I just said to them, we went back to their hotel, and I was just like, do you mind if I try it on? And they were like, yeah, sure, go for it. Tried it on, and it only just fit me. And I was just like, I know it was kind of me. It was, in a way, it was me. I was thinking of it as, I want to help them out, because they don't have a full group because the suit doesn't fit. So if they go out tomorrow, they're going to have 11 Rangers rather than 12, because no one's going to be able to wear the orange one. So I basically said to them, would you mind if I wear it and I join you for the day, because I've got nothing else on. So I'll join you, you'll have a full group, and it'll be awesome, hopefully. And yeah, these guys I had known for less than 24 hours, and they said, yeah, absolutely, do it, join us, we'll get a full group together and it'll be awesome for the day.
That's awesome.
Less than 24 hours I knew these people.
That's cool.
And yeah, I know people over here for 4 or 5 years who it feels like they don't want me in their groups.
Yeah. It feels as if, like, it's so strange there, isn't it? But over here, it feels as if some communities wouldn't even bat an eyelid at the idea of you joining a group, or even if you saw a group of guys in, let's say, the other Mighty Morphin suits and you were Pink Ranger, and you were thinking, oh, there's the other guys with no Pink Ranger, look at me, I can fit in there and you've got the whole squad. No. All of a sudden someone steps in the way going, no, but you're not a part of our friend group, so why would we have you a part of this? Sorry.
Exactly.
And it's like, why you just get, it's for fun. Why you just get, I understand having photos of your friends, that's different. That's absolutely fine, I get it. But when you know you're doing a meetup of fellow people in the same franchise and doing group photos together, if you're going to actively say, no, we don't want one with you because, number one, we don't know you, number two, you're not friends of us, or number three, like what happened with me, your outfit is not on our level, or number four, your outfit is not the character you're saying you are, because they think it's not the character you're saying you are when you know you are. It's ridiculous, but the fact that happened in this for 24 hours is beautiful.
I mean, yeah, I asked for it. I just said to them, do you mind if I try on the suit? Can I try it on? Yeah. And it kind of just fit, and then that's when I said to them, I was just like, well, do you want me to join you for tomorrow? Because I've got nothing else planned, really. I can change my plans, I can do my other suit in the afternoon, I can do that one in the morning. And if it helps you guys have a full set of Rangers, and afterwards as well, I came back from America and I literally saw photos of us as a full group online.
Nice.
And it's like, I can spend years of my life here in the UK and the community is not that accepting. Half the community don't want to know you, like you say, it's if you don't know me or you just don't want that person in your group because it's like, you're not part of this group, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, and also I went over there, I can wear, America, this is why you should go to Power Morphicon. I went over there and I can wear stuff like Hammy from Q Ranger, the cosplay, I can wear the Luca cosplay here in the UK, no one knows who you are. You can stand around with the group of Power Rangers and they're all wanting photos of the Rangers, but they don't know who you are. In America, they know. I was in the line, the queue, for the actual convention, before anything had even started, and there were people walking up and down, and people are going, oh, can I get a photo of you? You're Hammy from Q Ranger. Before I'd even got into the convention hall,
that's
they
so
asked for a
sick.
photo.
That's awesome. And this is why I'd love to go to things like Power Morphicon, things like San Francisco Comic-Con or even things like TwitchCon in the States, right? Because it's such... It just feels as if a lot more people are more welcoming, and a lot more of those communities stateside are a lot more, like, not to say knowledgeable, because I think there's a lot of knowledgeable people here that still don't... But they're just not open-armed enough to just welcome people in. While in the States, they don't care. They see that you love something that they love, and they're like, dude, let's go. Like, football? Football. Like, you know? That's like the US mentality. And it happened with me, like, I've been to San Francisco. This was years ago, but bearing in mind, first time I'd gone to fly on my own that far, and moments where I was just left to explore San Francisco on my own, which was daunting. So many lovely people. Such a lovely environment with different people. And I know there's a lot of scary stories about the US, but there's some really lovely people there. And yeah, like you said, it just seems like the convention community over there from all sorts of different franchises and community groups. It just seems to be on a different level that is in comparison to what we have over here in the UK.
Yeah, ironically, it was the day that I met them, the day before. Basically, me and one of the other girls, we were wearing the same cosplay. Or pretty much the same cosplay. She had the hammy jacket on, and we saw each other, and that's what sparked it. And then, obviously, that's what then led to them going, oh yeah, we've got a full ranger group tomorrow, but we're missing a ranger. And yeah, it was just like, oh my god, I love your jacket. Oh, you've got the same jacket. Yeah. And over here, you just don't get that.
I want to point out Rail's comment in chat for her where she says maybe it's also the shyness of people in the UK as well, because that is a point. There seems to be, at least from what I've seen, because obviously you've experienced it from Power Morphicon, so you may be able to shed more light on it. But I know from what I've seen in comparison to in like show reels and on the floor videos of people in the US cons in comparison to the UK cons, there seems to be a lot more people in the US that are willing to go out of their way to just go to even go to any extent of going, hey, you look awesome, to hey, do you want to take a photo together, you know? While in the UK you do have people like that still, absolutely. Doesn't seem as if on the same level, where it seems as if a lot more people in the UK are just happy being chill in the cosplay with their mates, which is absolutely fine, but as soon as they see a character that they really enjoy, or someone in the same franchise of their cosplaying, they're like, oh, that's amazing. As soon as someone points out to them, hey, you should get a photo of him, it's like, you know that.
It is also the fact that obviously it played into it that Power Morphicon is specifically for Power Rangers and Sentai and Kamen Rider stuff.
Yeah, that does help.
It's unlike going to somewhere like MCM here where it's just everything.
Yeah.
But in that sense, you'd think then if there is a meetup or a group of people cosplaying the same thing at a convention where it's like this is a niche, but we're at a massive convention, those people would gravitate to each other and then be like, oh, you like that too? We should hang out more and we should like take some photos together. But there's, like you say about the gatekeeping aspect, there's a lot of people in the community in terms of all cosplay, not just the Power Ranger one, where there's a lot of groups that just stay together and they don't really want stuff to do with other people.
Yeah.
You try and make an effort. My friend said to me once, I was talking to a set of people at one convention and I'm actively trying to talk to them as well, and hardly any of them wanted to talk to me. Obviously that makes me feel worse, and my friend actually said to me afterwards, he was there and he's seen everything that's going on, and he was just like, there was only one of them that wanted to talk to you, all the rest weren't interested. And like I say, that just, it makes you feel horrible.
Yeah.
You know, because you just feel left out, don't you?
That's it, exactly. And tying that all back with mental health, and that's when people wonder where, like, you see all these groups where they have like as their catchphrases or in their like description of what the group's all about, saying we're very inclusive. If you're into the same stuff as we are, we want to include you, we want to be a part of this and that and the other. And then you person. You're hyped up to understand and believe that this is a thing for everyone. We want to band everyone together, everyone's welcome. But when you go to that experience, and the experience is the other side of the coin, when it's, oh yeah, you're welcome, but you're not welcome with us. It's like, why? And then they either give you blanket excuses or bad reasons, or don't give you reasons at all because they don't want to harm your feelings, but they've already disrespected you and harmed your feelings by saying no. So it's that, and it just toils at your mind, because like you said, it then makes you think, is it not for cosplay, is it me as the person? And then you start judging yourself about all aspects of that. Like, is it me for this? Is it me for that? Is it me for all sorts? Which is just bad. And this is the thing, I think we can both agree as well, and people in chat. I also loved the comment from Raven chat about cosplaying Payday characters. Great shout. Love Payday. Love the Payday characters. That's a really good story. I love it. We don't want to turn this into I hate cosplay, the mini podcast, because it's not. But
would you like a lighter story to balance that out?
We will do in a minute. I think we just want to emphasise that cosplay is awesome. And I think we can all agree that there are insane levels of cosplayers out there. There are lovely people. There are great communities out there with great people in them. Cosplay is excellent. And I have nothing bad about what it is. But there are the people and the communities that act like this, that act like the gatekeepers and the critics and the go-to guys of you must be this good to pass, ruin the experience for other people. And we're just two people that have had our own experiences. There's probably a list of God knows how many people that have also had that same experience, with different stories, different communities, different ways, different lives. That's not nice. It's not nice for a big thing in general to have that connotation with it all. But let's go with your lighter story to brighten up things. What lighter story do you have for us?
Well, I mean, you look at it from it's mostly the younger audience. So kids see a character. They always will see a character. They don't see a person in a costume. They see the actual character.
Yeah.
And I've had instances where, mostly in the Power Ranger suits more than anything, but I did have one instance when I was Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So both times it was the kids seeing the character. And I had, in the Power Ranger suit, there was a little girl who was wearing the Dino Charge version of the suit, and I had my full-on Dino Charge, so we're both wearing the same outfit. She's got a little costume on from a store. The store-bought one with a plastic mask. And she walked up to this table that my friend had, and he ran this table, and he noticed, obviously, we had gone together to that convention. He noticed her in the costume, and she was with her parents, and he basically went, "Can I borrow her for a quick sec?" And he texted me at the same time, saying, "Where are you? Get back down here now." And basically, he took her to one side, and he was just like, I've got something that you'll really want to see." Like, not in a mean way. It was like, you will really enjoy this. This will make your convention. And at that moment, I hadn't seen the message, but I had come walking back down the stairs, and he spotted me over in the distance, come out the doorway, start coming back over, and he just went, and he said to the parents, he was just like, "I'm just going to borrow her for one sec." And he gestured to her, and he pointed over, and he said, "I've got something to show you. Look over there." And this full-size Dino Charge Ranger version of her, so she's in the same outfit, and she's looking at the full-size version walking over to her. And at the time, I think I was actually wearing the helmet as well, which made it even better. So I just come walking over, and she basically saw herself. She's like, "That's the actual Power Ranger. I'm in this suit." And that one there that's on my screen right now, funnily enough. Yeah, I came walking over in that suit, and her eyes lit up. She was just like, "That's a Power Ranger. That's an actual Power Ranger." And funnily enough, the next year I didn't go to the convention, but my friend did. And that little girl, she had got a year older. She was a little bit taller, and the first thing she asked when she saw him was, "Where is the pink Power Ranger?"
Oh no!
And he was, I think he made up a story about, I was off fighting monsters somewhere, but yeah, she remembered me specifically, or the character specifically. She didn't remember me, she remembered the character.
That's so cool, regardless.
But yeah, and going on with the little girl with Belle as well. So like I say, it wasn't always Power Rangers, mostly. I had a little girl that saw me in the Belle costume. She was wearing a little Belle dress as well, and took a photo with her, got down on one knee and took a photo next to her and everything. I stood up and I turned around to get my bag, and I heard her from behind say, "Bye, Belle." I turned around and she was waving at me saying goodbye. So yeah, she saw me as Belle. One other saw me as a Power Ranger. But yeah, that's the lighter side of it. That's the fun side of when you actually get that moment of seeing a little girl in a Power Ranger suit, and you're wearing the same suit, and she just sees a Power Ranger. She just sees you as the character.
That's it. That's amazing. That's a lovely touch, man. Okay, so winding this back with mental health bits. Sadly, we could probably end up doing a full cosplay podcast at this point, but mental health. Sadly. One of the questions I'd written down, well, it's a bit of a jokey one as well, but it's, when do you feel your mental health episodes began, and why was it at school? Because so far, with every guest we've had on, it's been school. So I'm interested to see if this canonically continues. Have you
how
had
I reacted at
school-based
school, yeah?
experiences?
So I will tell you now, it's something happened at school, but I have blocked out most of my school years. I don't remember really any of it. I remember little bits here and there, but I didn't enjoy school at all, mostly because of the fact that I'm not very good at learning. I still feel to this day that the school system is wrong, and they should be encouraging kids. I was trying to say children and kids there. See, I don't do words good. But yeah, in terms of the school system itself, you need to... I had, as a little mini story, I failed most of my subjects. I got told I couldn't draw. I was no good at doing any of that sort of stuff. But yeah, in terms of school itself, here's another one that I got. You probably had to learn French and Spanish, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I had
Most
French
people
lessons.
would have.
I was terrible at French, but I had them.
I don't remember any of the French or the Spanish that I learned, because I didn't want to learn either. I asked if I could learn German, and they told me, yeah, you should probably do French or Spanish because you'll find German too difficult. And it's just like, that's up to me. If I want to learn that, you should encourage it and let me learn it. But they didn't. They forced me to learn other things that I didn't want to, so in a sense, it's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know any of that.
Weird, actually. Notice that the feeling of gatekeeping is still here.
Starts at an early age.
Oh, it's interesting. But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Wow.
But in terms of school, I didn't enjoy my time at school at all. Didn't enjoy it. I did get bullied. Not too much. Not to the same extent that any of you guys have. Mine was virtually nothing. I got called names. That was it. That's as far as it went.
We got it offline.
Yeah, I mean, I probably had a very easy life in terms of my school life. Nothing eventful. But again, it goes back to that idea of probably that's where it started, is I was very shy anyway, so I tended to stay out of things. And again, that's probably translated into my adult life, and that's why I don't talk about things. That's why I don't want to be in the spotlight. Ironically, I'm on stream right now with probably about 6 people watching, but
and here you are tonight.
yeah. But yeah, I would love to say that your theory is right and it all started at school, but for me it was a very easy school life, I think.
Yeah. Okay, we found the one. we've broken the chain. But that's cool.
Never break the chain. Never break the chain. I'm making an F1 reference on my channel there. Okay, you guys get that, don't you?
That was it. It's like what Wales says in chat. Yeah, if it's not bullying, it's bad teaching. Which was your experience with the whole German.
That's bullying. There's a question. There's where you get deep.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
Yeah. There was a very interesting. I'm gonna get the information wrong here, so I know I am, so I apologise. I just remember seeing. Oh my God, Rave! Oh no, Dumpster for Raid coming in with 6 peeps. How you all doing? Well, our new dynamic attack sheet Raid. Perfectly timed. Howdy, hi everybody. Welcome in. How are you all doing? Hope you're all good, Dumpster, in the community. Awesome stuff. Welcome to the streams. I'm with KaylaKrafter here. We're talking mental health bits this evening as part of the charity challenge and everything. So, howdy hizzle. Dump raid. Hello, dumpers. if that's I feel bad calling you dumpers. But welcome regardless. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had an amazing stream and all that fun jazz. Welcome indeed. Okay, so we've figured out then that it's actually really interesting. The school was not really that bad. Wow, I think I can cross out like 10 more questions. Because it was all like school.
Maybe it's just me as a person, but like I say, it might be that is where it all started in terms of if you're not willing to let kids want to learn what they want to learn. So yeah, they might be bad at drawing, but if that's their passion, let them do it. If they want to learn a language, if they want to do this, let them experience it. It's the only way that we'll get people doing art and things like that in the future, is if you let them explore their own personality and their own sort of their own passion. So in a way, yeah, you're kind of stifling that by not letting them do it, and that's why they will become regret, and they will start to shy away from the world and think, I'm not good enough to do that really, they've told me I'm not good enough, clearly I'm not, so I'll listen to them. But yeah, in terms of school is where it all starts.
That's it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So before the raid occurred, thank you Dumpster and all the dump crew. What I was going to get on about was, I remember there was a video I had seen which was very eye-opening, and it was someone who had worked in the educational sector and then became he almost got into government as an educational secretary, which was really interesting. So he had all this research and all this knowledge about the educational system, and I think he said back in about the early 2010s there was a new initiative brought in, or a couple of new initiatives brought in, that schools had to sign up to basically say, yes, we want to be a part of this because this is good for the kids. One of them was about obesity, and covering the whole idea that kids are getting more and more obese, we need to tackle dieting and exercise and healthy eating, healthy living, etc., healthy school meals, etc. I think it was like 85 to 87% of all schools in England alone immediately agreed to that plan. Meanwhile, the other one was an initiative on mental health. And the initiative on mental health at school level was to introduce school-based psychology, was to introduce lessons on understanding aspects of mental health and even basics of like cognitive behavioral therapy, where you can understand where your thought patterns are coming from and learn how to keep things under control and how to channel that into more positive mindsets and more positive practical things. That was a whole initiative back in the early 2010s. Not even 5% of all the schools in England signed up to it. And to this day, not even 10% of all the schools in England have signed up to that mental health initiative. It's still there and available. They're just not signing up to it at all. Which explains a few things when you think they'll gladly help kids with their diet, but they won't help them with their mental health. That's kind of a huge shock. It blew my mind, because obviously, bearing in mind this was about 2010, by this point I was like on the later end of school, it was not going to affect me whatsoever. I had been there, done that, I was not going back through the system at all. But really eye-opening. I'll need to try and find that video and find the references. It's a very interesting read and remind myself of the legitimate numbers, but the numbers are roughly around there. I think it was anywhere between 5 to 8 to 10% of all schools in England were signed up to this plan, and still to this day, not a lot are, which is terrible for kids and the new generation. It's terrible. Which could result in a lot of things. But anywho, moving on to some more bits. So we've talked about initial mental health bits, some experiences being then common, some experiences you've had at conventions and cosplay, etc. When it comes to your mental health, like when you feel as if you have dips, as I call them, when it comes to mental health, do you feel as if, have you ever been to a point where you felt as if your mental health has been out of control? Like that you've gone so low that you may not be able to get back up again, or have you luckily not been that low in yourself?
Sorry. Because I tend to like, I don't know if you want to mention about like going through with things, because I know you have done on stream before. But I think you know what I'm talking about when I say that.
I do.
But in terms of going through with ending things, for want of a better phrase, I've never got to that point, because personally for me, I look at that and I just think, what is the point of that? What is it going to achieve? It's never crossed my mind as an option. So I suppose, like I say, I'm getting off lighter than a lot of people do. But that's just, I suppose it comes from that mentality. So I get this, that not everyone likes Lewis Hamilton. Like, he is a bit much for people. People think of him as one of the high horse and everything. He recently sent out an Instagram post about mental health. And that's good, because he uses his platform to bring awareness to these things, which is a great thing to do. And he gets flack for it. He obviously does, because the world is full of people who want to bring other people down. But in the sense of some of the stuff, I don't agree with everything that he says, but when he says stuff like that, you just look at it, and his words in that post were something along the lines of, everyone suffers with things, everyone has their own mental health demons they have to deal with, but keep fighting, because that's what you need to do. You need to keep fighting. You won't want to give up, but you have to keep going. And I kind of feel like that with a lot of the stuff that I watch and things like that. I get into the point of watching certain TV shows, like, my heroes are not, the people I look up to are fictional characters basically, apart from Lewis, but most of the people I look up to are people like the Doctor Who, stuff like that, and the Sentai characters, Captain Marvelous, who is just like, I'm not giving up, I'm not giving into this, I'm going to carry on fighting, and I'm going to win. And that's kind of the mentality that I have always had. Like, I maybe I will give up, like with the cosplay type things, like all of that stuff. I will probably give that up, but that's not me giving in to like, oh well, it's too much for me to handle. It's me just going, I've had enough. I'm going to find something else to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like you said, with the cosplay side of things, is cosplay is fine if that's what people want to do. But sometimes you just got to do you, and sometimes you just got to go, well, it's not for me anymore. So by all means, you lot carry on doing that. If you get enjoyment out of it, carry on. I'm getting more enjoyment from streaming. I'm getting more enjoyment from doing this race league that I'm doing, and all the people that I've met through that. And it comes back to that whole keep fighting, and just like I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do this racing league. I'm going to do the streaming. But in terms of, like I say, that whole look at it as some people do choose to end it all. Personally, me, I look at it and I go, what's the point in doing that? It's not going to solve anything for me. It's just going to, obviously I'm not going to be here anymore, but then if I'm not here, that means I'm not going to achieve anything anymore, and I can't have that.
Yeah.
I've got a race to win on Sunday, and I'm going to win it.
There you go. And I mean, you've got to think of it now, right? If obviously I hope it doesn't, and we highly doubt it, because it seems to be a great mindset with things at the moment, especially with your streaming, which we'll talk about in a moment, because that's amazing. I love the progress you made. But it's like, if you was to suddenly have a dip tomorrow and took it all the way, and we know what I mean when I say that. Yeah, it's like what you said. Your chess piece is left the board, but there are so many other chess pieces, and you may have been the critical piece necessary to make the game plan. You know, that's one way of putting it. So without you, there'll be no race league. Simple as. So all these racy fun times you have with all your community guys, that wouldn't have happened. All these guys.
If I'm not here anymore, right? Minnie's just said in my chat, with the way I'm driving Monaco, you will win it. So if I'm not here, all of these guys, they have, what's their target? Well, they got to beat.
Yeah, that's it.
They need to beat me.
Yeah, there you go. And that's lovely. Like, it's nice to have a sense of, I think that's like the big theme of this chat we've been having this time around. It's been a theme of gatekeeping, but then at the same time, senses of community. And
you know what my problem is?
Yeah, go ahead.
If we narrow it down to one sentence, my problem is I'm too stubborn for it.
I get you. I completely get you.
I'm too stubborn to actually give up on everything.
I completely respect that. Like, you just give me the kind of person who's like, do you want it? No. And you didn't even let me. No, I'm not doing it. Stop. And I know, like, I've got a bit of that as well. In all honesty, like the amount of people and the amount of times where, like, I've said this on stream before, and I've seen it a million more times. And this isn't a flex or anything. This is just how it is. I've been making content
Totally
on.
flex, right?
Prepare for the flex. Flex alert. I've been making content online since I was 13 years of age. And this year, I'm 30 now, I will turn 31 this year. I know I look 26, thank you. Oh yeah. And
I'm older than Dom, that's why I say that.
fair play. And the trick is, doing content for all those years, I started doing that content, and I've started doing videos originally because I wanted a sense of community. I wanted a sense of belonging. I wanted a sense of something. There's got to be people out there that are passionate about the things I'm passionate about, that I can connect with somehow, in a way that I can express myself but also get to know other people. And thanks to content creation, I've been able to have that connection with so many. From the early days of when I did my first ever videos on the ancient website known as Bebo. For those who remember Bebo. Doing video game reviews and even reviews of wrestling shows, to then transitioning onto YouTube and starting to do content on YouTube on the very first video game I ever did consistent content of on YouTube, which was Command & Conquer 3, and through that building my own Command & Conquer community with a ton of people, with people I did videos with and we did play tournaments with and everything. Then that transitioned to League of Legends. We don't speak about that anymore. Not in a bad way, just those who play League and are part of the League community, you know what I mean. But a lot of the good has come from that. But alongside the good, in more modern years, especially in like the past 8 years when I've had moments where I haven't committed to what I have been doing for this many years for so long. And the main reason why I wasn't as consistent as I thought I was anymore. And it started when I was it started when I finished university, and it was the main gist of, am I good enough for this? That constant mindset of, am I at that level to be at least good? Be at least seen by other people and to be told, you're like, I love your stuff, man, keep going. The levels of anxiety increased. I didn't make content as consistently. When I first started getting into streaming, my god, completely different person I was, and it was bad. Trying to stream League games and being completely silent, trying to stream all the popular games because that's what all the cool kids were doing in order to get real big real quick, and it destroyed me. And I'll be completely honest, I don't think I've been really open with that on stream for any longer, even to my community before. If you asked me a few years ago if I was ever to get back into properly doing YouTube and properly doing streaming, I would have looked at you and I would have said, I just can't. Because my mental state at that point was, I'm not good enough, I'll never be heard, I will never be welcomed by any community, and there was no way I could ever build a community again. Because everything that I had back with Command & Conquer 3 was special. That lasted until, sadly, as everyone does, we were young when we all started that Command & Conquer craze. We get older, our likes change, the games we play change as it goes, and we disbanded. I'm still in touch with a few of the original guys, and that's great, but things change, you grow up, you move on, and I get that. And I think I was in that in-between stage of, do I move on? Feeling as if I've had my peace, I've had my moment, maybe this is the step I take to move away. Or is it that I've still got a lot more to give? And then it was, I remember it exactly because it happened when I first started the Shepherd Challenge, the very first one. So for you OGs will remember the first Shepherd Challenge last year, or technically 2 years ago now I think. That was really fun. That kickstarted everything. Because, and I'll be honest with this, I'm sorry if I'm waffling on. The story behind that was that before we did the first Shepherd Challenge, I was very sporadic with streaming, did not have a consistent schedule, didn't even have an idea of what I wanted to do stream-wise. Then I had this brilliant idea, and the idea was to do something that I felt passionate about, that I wanted to give something back, and that was to do something for charity with Pokemon. And then I thought of, I like seeing people do Nuzlocke, I was never really well versed in Nuzlocke at the time, and I've dabbled into it, but never done full playthroughs with Nuzlocke. So I'm like, why don't I just push myself to go completely out of my comfort zone and do Nuzlocke of 5 Pokemon games back to back with sheep only, see how crazy it is. I had everything set up, and leading up to day 1 of the very first time I started the Shepherd Challenge, leading up to that thing, and that was about 3 months before, because I was originally planning to start the original Shepherd Challenge so many months before I actually did, but I didn't. Because the people I was close to at the time were saying to me, this is a stupid idea, no one will watch it, you won't raise any money, no one will care, the only thing, you will gain nothing, and you will lose everything. Those people are no longer in my life, because that was when I realised that those people had actually stifled me for the past 5 years at that point. And I know I haven't spoken about this in stream about that, so those people stifled my potential, made me feel as if I was not capable of anything, and made me feel as if any idea I had was a bad idea consistently for 5 years. And as soon as I caught wind, and as soon as I felt like I had an opportunity to finally do something for myself, be myself, and do something that I was passionate about, they were latching onto the idea of, you just won't make it, what's the point, give up, this, that, and the other. I started it, and I think you'll know the rest is history now. Shepherd Challenge kick-started streaming for me again. Here we are, 2022. TheXploder's right here, streaming with other people that I've met through streaming and even before streaming. Talk about mental health bits. Building up the lovely community that I have with you guys in chat and guys in Discord. You guys on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube later on. Guys like Kayla, guys like Rail, that I've been mates with prior, but streaming has only strengthened that friendship that we have. And building this amazing community where this has fully encapsulated my idea of explosivity. And when I say to people at the end of my streams, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay explosive, what I mean by stay explosive is exactly the idea of stay being you. Because I went through so many years being told that me being me was a problem. And as soon as I pushed the people away that were telling me that and were ingraining that into my head, me being me was never the problem. And being the best you that you can be is the best thing that you can do. And that's the main thing I wanted to promote with my streams, my content, my everything that I do. So if you see me stream a game you've never seen before, it's because I've got something about the game that I want to share. I've got that passion about it, and I want to introduce you to that passion. And at the same time, going through this journey with you guys and helping you guys realize that yes, you may be into quirky stuff, but I will never get into it. But you're freaking awesome. And you're the best you that you can be, and I want you to be the best you that you can be. Whether it's Rave shoving cactuses up people's asses, whether it's Kalo finally managing to have time to finish XA, whether it's Rail becoming the absolute lord of the paralysis demons, whether it's Craig, God damn it, Craig, you will know what I mean by that, and all that jazz. It's a thing of beauty. And I'm sorry I got on a bit of a tangent, but the sense of
Curious
community.
to know what one you think I would be. What goal have you got for me?
Well, it's like, oh, here's the thing about that, as we transition into talking about streaming bits and all that jazz, and how that's obviously helped you, because I know for the longest time, and we spoke ages prior to you getting into streaming properly, when you were umming and ahhing about it, you were thinking, oh, this looks cool, but I just don't know. And when I got to speak to you about it and just saying, yo, it's super easy. You just set up the basics and hit record and go. And it will come. Like one of these days, and especially what Rails just said in chat, one of these days I see you being, especially with like racing leagues and bits and bobs like that, a go-to Formula 1 streamer on Twitch, or one of the go-to Formula 1 guys on Twitch. I can see that for you. Because you can bring that to the table. You've got the passion for Formula 1, you've got the passion for the games that are based on Formula 1, you've got the passion for the community that you're building with that Formula 1 racing in mind, with the racing leagues, etc. And I can see you growing that into something truly special. And not just being the person that you were saying earlier, where it's like feeling a little bit more backseated, but growing into this person that goes from that backseat to becoming your community's version of Lewis Hamilton, without the slight dickery. Personal opinion, do not take that seriously. But you know what I mean?
That depends on how much Red Bull is still around at that point. You know?
It's like, where's the ball? But that's what I see for you, and all this amazing potential, and I love the fact that your community is doing so well, and seeing all the growth and all that stuff. And I know people on the outside will look at channels like mine, channels like Kayla's, channels like Rails, for example, look at numbers and judge by the numbers and say, you're not good. And this is what I say to everyone getting into streaming now, or anyone getting into content creating on YouTube and places like TikTok, which I know will trigger rave, or bits and bobs like that. The only thing that you should ever look at are the people you have those connections with. Numbers are one thing. Numbers are important for sponsors, for money, for opportunities that involve financial gain and bits and bobs like that. You as a streamer shouldn't give a crap about numbers. You should give a crap about the people you're connecting with, the community you're building, the stories that you're telling, the connections that you're making. That is what this is all about. Connecting with others, making that community, or becoming a part of that grand community. And it's a big part of mental health. And I'm just really happy that that streaming has given you a sense of community that, at least I feel as if through this chat, you've kind of lost the sense of with cosplay and how the cosplay community is going.
Even in terms of, so like the streaming side of things, it's exactly the same as the cosplay. So it's like you said earlier about the whole, even one person showing any recognition is a plus. So for example, it just took one person, so Scar, telling me about the racing league and basically saying you should be proud of what you've done here because you've helped create this. Whereas in cosplay, like I say, I can go around a convention for an entire weekend and not see a single photo, which makes me think like, okay, well, obviously this is not where I'm supposed to be.
And it's just really awesome. It's really awesome to see that develop.
Did you name the cringe, by the way?
Yeah, the app of clocks, as I will know it. I dare not speak its name. And so, as we come to the end of our banter and whatnot, I guess I'll ask you the question I've asked everyone at the end of our conversations and stream. Yours may be completely different because of your experiences and all that jazz, but if you had an opportunity to go back and talk to your younger self, what advice would you potentially give them for the future, knowing where you are now?
I would take an almanac back with me and give them the book.
Do it Back to the Future. Just go, use this. Win.
Bet on, go with your instinct and bet on Braun in 2009 to win the championship would be the main thing. Because if I had done that like I wanted to, I could have been quite well off right now. Seriously, you obviously don't know much about Formula One in terms of the races, but at that time, Brawn were 3 weeks before the championship started. They were a done team. They didn't exist. They started the championship 2009 and they won the first race. And at that point, I said they're going to go on and win that championship because of what they did that weekend. And yeah, but no, seriously though, because obviously I'm a Star Trek fan, so I don't believe in money. In a serious world, if I met me from the past, the main thing that I would say is be a bit more sure of yourself and don't listen, like in the best way possible, don't listen to people. You know what you want, you know what you can do, go and do it. As in, like with the Formula One, like I don't know much in life. We know that. I'm not very good at life in general. I'm not very good at being sociable, but not necessarily on a wheel. Mostly on a controller, as Scar knows and as Minnie knows. I do this on a controller, and I'm quicker than people who have £1,000 wheels. But there was a post up that Red Bull did, and they basically put a lap up of Sergio Perez, the actual racing driver, on their simulator going around a track, and they would put up the time. They just said, "Can you beat Sergio's time?" I was like, "Yeah, I can beat it on a controller." And it's basically me looking at myself and just going, you may feel that you don't know much about certain things, and that's fine, but if there's one thing you can do, you can race. You can do these things that you can do. Don't let people tell you you can't. Just go with your instinct. You can do them. And yeah, just in the nicest way possible, don't listen to people. Just don't listen to anyone. When they tell you shouldn't do something, like you said, they say, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't do this, that won't work out." Do it. Just do it. And you're either gonna find that, okay, that's not for you, I'll do something else, or you're gonna find, I can do it, and I've just proved to you that I can do it. So what's next? What are you gonna tell me next that I can't do? Just so I can go and do that.
Yeah. So basically,
and here's a quote for you. That is Lewis Hamilton once again, after Turkey, when he won his 7th World Championship, which we all thought 7, that was Michael Schumacher's record. No one was ever going to beat that. And Lewis Hamilton did it. And he, on the radio afterwards, said, we'll never forget the words that he said to them. "This is for all the kids out there that dream the impossible. You can do it too." There you go.
That's it. Words you can actually live your life by. Simple.